Hi, welcome to Fight Today Show, analyzing Saul Pierre Kerfuffle, some of the word procrastinators.
You're gonna blame
And joining
me
me
for having ring rust here for all this. I'm on my game. Just FYI.
Alexi's still bamboozled by that like Abu Ghraib wall he's got behind him.
help me. No, I was just telling them that everything was fine.
You don't have to put the hood back on until after the show.
Joining me are a guest kid named Bloody Elbow
Yes.
and of the Let It Roll podcast. And Denis Robinson from Aussie.com and author of Fight Everything You Ever Wonder About Asking or Afraid You Get Your Ass Kicked for Asking collectively MMA Pancholes. I know you missed that, Nate.
Yeah.
Eugene,
Sir.
you're the UFC.
Oopsie.
How do you explain your all-time low UFC on Fox ratings live and in public, if you will?
Listen, I'm the UFC. I'm going to sit you down right here, right now, and ask you, have you heard about bull riding? Professional bull riding. It's the most exciting sport in America. It's taken the world by storm. That's where you got to put your action. Now we're going to experiment with the UFC Professional Bull Riding Association. That's where all the eggs are, in that basket. I'm sorry, were you asking about something else? Because all I'm thinking about these days with my overlords at Endeavor, PBR. Professional bull riding. Look at the stats. Look at the figures. That's a winning sport. Now, this other thing that you talk about, I don't know what you got going on. But I'm putting my eggs in the professional bull riding basket. Thank you very much. So says the VP of not giving a shit.
What about you, Nate?
That's interesting and probably is reflective of where WME's heads are at. But if you're Dana White, you blame Fox because, remember I started calling Spike. He cleverly started referring to Spike TV as Spuke after, a 5-year run that made them all very successful, made the sport legit in America. So I think he's working on nicknames for Fox, maybe Socks or Rocks, Cox, Fox, Ox, Cox.
Yeah.
Ox, Cox.
Buttocks.
Cox and socks.
Buttocks for short.
Your favorite band, Cox and Socks.
Yeah, my God. Somebody just texted me that he was there at the Contenders series. It's like, will I get no peace from this man?
Have you noticed Anthony Kiedis is looking more and more like Nosferatu, the original?
I'd like to do a Murder in the Cathedral with starring me and Anthony Kiedis, where I would actually get to assassinate him in the temple.
Well, riding a professional bull, man.
Yeah. So Dana needs to blame Fox. That's Dana's MO. I didn't see any ads for the UFC on Fox. Did anybody else leading up to this? I mean, I'd be very interested to know the number of ads for this show versus previous year shows. Although it's also
Did
one of
you
the
watch
worst times of year.
Fox previous to this show, Nate?
Now, why you want to ask questions like that, Alexi? What kind of question is that to ask?
Well, but listen. The thing is, you can't fuck up too badly because now everybody's in bed with everybody. One person gets VD, everybody gets VD. Endeavor is a big company with which I imagine Fox does quite a bit of business in other regards, from acting and the TV shows and so on. So you can't be all out ass. Can't go all out ass. You got to play nice to a certain extent. Blaming Fox would be blatantly transparent. It wouldn't be friendly. And he'd probably get him a talking to from somebody at WME Endeavor who's maybe paying attention, which is approximately 0 people there. But
yeah, I think he could get away with it.
But that would be a decent strategy were he even paying attention. It was his birthday show. Was he there as well?
I believe. I don't know. Did y'all see him?
I watched the clips. I didn't get the chance to watch the whole show because I was doing a tribute to Dr. John.
A tribute to Dr.
My name is Dr. John. I heard that was a good one.
Yeah. Dr. John.
I didn't realize you were a Dr. John fan.
I am actually a Dr. John fan, and one of the guys in the band, I had some cool people in the band. Joe Gore, who played guitar for both PJ Harvey and Tom Waits, was in the band. and he had forgotten that he had played a show with Oxbow years ago in Orange Symphonette, and Willie Wynant, who's a percussionist for Fred Frith, was there too. So I was in fine, and of course I completely massacred the show, but I looked nice when I was doing it. So
I see. Eskimo Brothers in a way with Fred Frith. That's
that's
I don't know if Eskimo Brothers is the right word, but connected on the Rock family tree. How about that?
No, that wasn't quite the right word, but I was like, fuck, did I tell you that? So never mind.
Anyway, you got the wrong show. This isn't Care Don't Care where you break into music.
Sorry.
Yes.
Sorry. No, I don't think they give a shit, and Dana's not going to put up with being muzzled. I mean, it's the only thing he does now is run his mouth. So
no, he does a lot more.
Dana White.
He does a lot more than run his mouth. He counts. He's pretty good at counting. Like
it seems like he's
on Sesame Street. Yeah. Well, look at he makes a lot, but he also spends a lot.
Yeah. We're looking at a Evander Holyfield level burn rate at this point.
Yeah. The difference is Evander has 11 kids. The bald one does not.
I think every UFC fighter is like a kid.
Really?
He's like old Mother Hubbard.
And he's the best dad this side of David Lee Roth.
There you go. Deadbeat dad.
Yeah.
Deadbeat dad, Dana.
I didn't say anything about David Lee Roth being a deadbeat dad. I'm just saying.
Oh, does David Lee Roth have a kid? I never heard that.
No, I'm just I was just imagining.
You're free-forming. Yeah, okay.
I should have named a football player with 15 kids, but I don't know any.
Oh, you could say Screaming Jay Hawkins, who had like 60.
Yeah,
Chrome RT, when he a basketball player, that's the guy I think has 15. Anyway, Nate, you're a UFC on Fox main card winner. How can you create a title shot opportunity given your loss to your division's Will the Woods and inability to garner ratings? Because again, you fought on the lowest rated show.
Ouch. Well, you're right. They are going to be holding that against the fighters, regardless of how much it's really irrelevant who was on that card. Well, Joanna Jędrzejczyk has already shown us what she can do, which is just go way off into the mist. Do you have what's her official status? Is she just?
She's the undisputed, hands down Emperor of Emperors of the Lost Battalion.
Okay, all right.
No question.
She's in the mist, not some other category. All right. No. Yeah, no, but I mean, she's on her misty game. It was like, I think the Kinks wrote a song about how misty she was. It was misty waters all the way with that gal. So she's on it.
Mist on the water.
That's smoke on the water, and it's deep.
No, it's mist. It's mist. It's
come on. Yeah, London fog was all pollution, by the way. It wasn't fog at all. And then Poirier, does anybody care what Poirier does when he's not in the cage? I mean, no. It's like you watch him in the cage, but you're not like sweating his locale otherwise.
You know what Poirier is like? If somebody walks up to you, a complete stranger, you're standing at a bus stop or something, somebody who says, "Hey, you want a piece of gum?"
Oh.
That's Daniel Poirier. You might say, "Sure, I'll have a piece of gum," or you'll be like, "Nah, that's okay. I don't want any gum." That's Daniel Poirier.
And then Aldo, I mean, I think Aldo even got some rub from Conor McGregor, saying he was happy to see it. Which I mean, it's like being anointed by the gods.
Yeah, because it also makes Conor look good too. Just think about it, right? So,
of course, Conor's always thinking about number one. I mean, a rare opportunity to look gracious seized by Conor.
And I'd go for that rematch in a second.
Sure, yeah. I mean, not if I was Conor. Not at the moment. I mean, he's got other things to do. Plus, I don't think he wants to cut down to featherweight anymore. But that rematch, it could be viable. Maybe, as long as Conor can carry it, But those kids are just lost. I mean, Joanna, I admire Joanna's approach the most, though. If you're going to be misty, just turn on the dry ice machine, man. Just go full on high school Halloween carnival.
Did you hear about these people almost died from the dry ice? They decided to.
People do that like twice a year, I think.
What would you do if you were one of these people, Eugene?
On the card?
Yeah, one of these so-called winners.
You know, the thing is, if you're smart, you keep your fucking mouth shut, right? I've been in 2 riots, right? I mean, like actual like riots where people were like getting their heads cracked open by the cops and there were fires lit and shit breaking. And I emerged from both of those riots unscathed. Why? Because I didn't run anywhere. I just walked to where I needed to go. And so you became, it's like in the zombie movies where they don't attack the guy who's like diseased. People just left me the fuck alone. And they probably forgot that I was there. If I'm a fighter on this card, I go for that strategy. There's no benefit to claiming any title that I was on it. Anybody who remembers will forget after Dillashaw Garbrandt. I'm just going to fuck it, unless you're at the top of the card, like Nate says, in which case, well, it's a good, if you're Jose Aldo, it's like, look, I had some stuff to prove. I had to work out some kinks, had to get my game going. Jeremy Stevens is still, who the fuck is that? Who the fuck is that guy? You know, it was serious competition, but, you know, for me, this was a trial thing. Dustin Poirier, chewing gum man, whatever, bro. Eddie Alvarez gets the EJJ award for the evening. Three
Hey, King, save it for my heel turn. Okay?
Oh, you just stomped all over the Lost Battalion, but I gotta save it for your heel turn.
Come on, like you know you're not gonna ring the old
A three-fa.
Yeah.
But
in any case, I think it's just easy enough. Keep your mouth. You say at the post-fight press conference, and you just keep your mouth shut until Wednesday, when the machinery, which is tomorrow, starts to kick into gear. Focused on Garbrandt, the under-advertised, under-marketed Garbrandt Dillashaw fight.
And stay on weight. That's the thing. I mean, with all the injuries that are occurring, you know, the same way that Angela Hill in your article, Eugene, was talking about how she makes sure that she's checking out who's injured and where she can fit in. You know, there's no excuse for these guys. I mean, the only way they're going to be getting those title shots in the near future without having to fight 2 or 3 more fights is somebody gets injured. They need an immediate. Well, that's how Aldo got it last time, right? Against Holloway, he got his rematch against Holloway, right? So
you know, and people, it's interesting to watch. Kind of, this is a slight digression, but it's interesting to watch Chael Sonnen try to explain the Colby Crappington whisperer that he is, and giving this guy a shot and a leg up, and trying to. And I started to think, and I was going to do the next showstopper on this. I started to think that the problem is that fighters who are fighting, who write on their tax return that they're fighters, are forgetting that fighting is the second thing that they do. The first thing that you have to do is, why would somebody fight in the first place, right? Rene Girard, the French philosopher, calls it mimetic desire. We come in the conflict of one thing over another. I said, differing worldviews. That's why we fucking fight. So when Chael Sonnen was expressing what was probably honestly held opinions about Brazilians and buses and carrots and so on, he was stating a position, or like Jim Rome said, he had a take. The fight stuff that happened post facto was watching him physically defend that take, in the same way that if you're in a bar, you go, I really like the fucking Philadelphia Eagles. They suck, and you might come to blows over it. That's the setup. That's the 2-step. So if you're not using any of these mic opportunities to express an opinion, like we have opinions, our opinions don't matter much. Like if I say, just as a random example, that I think Ariel Helwani is a bubblehead. Now, that was just a random example. It's not like Ariel Helwani is going to challenge me to a fight, right? I've expressed an opinion. It's maybe an honestly held opinion, but it just lays there. It doesn't go anywhere. With fighters, they have the benefit of that second part of that 2-step, and that's what people are missing out on. They're missing out in the first step. You have a take, or you're just a guy there for a paycheck. You're a fucking grocery clerk, you know? So if you have a press conference, say, Jose Aldo had a lot of cool things to say, what was directly in his head, and that was cool. To set up his next fight, he should have said, you know, I'm looking at this field. I might as well retire because there's nothing but bums around me. That's all McNuggets did. All that shit that he thinks, he just said it. Now, if you're not thinking anything, you got nothing to say. But if you're thinking something, you need to say it. You're doing for us what we can't do for ourselves.
I mean, it's funny. Poirier tried in terms of laying out how he's laid people out, but at the end of the day, I mean, he got knocked out by Conor, man.
At the end of the day, sometimes you feel like chewing gum, and sometimes you don't. You can't. It's not a business model.
There you go. So, speaking about business models or lack thereof, what about the heel turn?
Well, I got to go referee Mark Goddard for this bullshit stand-up on Eddie Alvarez. I know he fouled 3 times. He did grab the fence. Okay. That, could have been a warning, a stand-up right there. The ear grabbing the inside of dude's ear also could have been a foul. He could have done a point deduction right there. If he had warned him for the fence grab, then the ear thing would have been a point deduction. But standing him up on a fucking 12-6 elbow, dude, that is the most bullshit rule ever. Like, when you do that, you put yourself right in there with the guy who disqualified John Jones for 12-6ing Matt Hamill and ruining Jones's undefeated record for one thing, and just making a permanent ass of yourself. Like, I believe that was Steve Mazzagatti who did the old Jones Hamill 12-6. And Goddard, it's like, if you're going to be a ref, just like if you're going to be a juror in America, you got to be able to resort to juror nullification and just ignore that stupid ass 12-6 rule, and let's have the MMA we need to have with no 12-6 elbow rule. That's the heel turn, Mark Goddard. Like, you fell down on the job and had some controversy afterwards, and I predict we see less and less of him in the future. He's a future Mazzagatti. That's what I'm saying.
Who's in your lost battalion, Eugene?
Well, like Kid Nate just gleefully stomped all over with big fucking construction boots.
What do you have to say about
stomping?
Come on, I knew you were going to come up with something more
Super
creative
Tims
and interesting than Joanna's misty ass.
No, not really, because what she's done there, I mean, like I said on the Show Stomper, she embodies it in a way that nobody else has, because she brings all of those emotions to bear. The fear, the terror, the uncertainty, the anxiety, the confusion. This is, it seems to be all embodied in that little Polish woman who is still calling herself a champion, is talking about this other woman ducking her. Now, keep in mind what I just said, because I'm a professional. In literary terms, we called it foreshadowing. So we're talking about the first thing that fighters need to do. If she's saying what's in her head, this is a disturbing and dark berm of phantasmagorical, fucking dangerous, sad things. And I think that we should all take a moment to step back and to go, oh yeah, it would be easy to say maybe an Eddie Alvarez, because where does the road turn for him now? It would be easy to, some of these guys are coming out for this other fight organization. Who is the bare knuckle thing? Chris Lieben is fighting. So, it'd be easy to say, that's a shuttle bus straight to the mist. It would be easy to say that. But even though he's a friend of Knuckle Up, Chris Lieben, to a certain extent, a known associate, I don't want to take a shot at the guy, is what I'm saying. But the reality of it is, I don't know how this plays out, because if she's saying the stuff she's thinking, she's putting herself in a place where nobody can reach her. We can't reach her to save her. We can't reach her to help her. We can't. She's beyond redemption. It's like they said, they said to Colonel Kurtz, do you think my methods are mad? I don't see any method here. How does this play out? I mean, the thing is, if you beat Rose, say by some weird accident, you beat Rose, which I don't think is ever going to happen. Where do you go now that you've made yourself completely unlikable? Who's pulling for you now? If my wife is not pulling for you now, who stands with you? And if she loses again, then you've got the duelist all over again. She's just wandering the country trying to get some sort of fight with. She becomes a Sean Shirk, a really formidable gatekeeper, but that's no place to live out the rest of your days.
Damn.
So yeah, we've never seen Chris Weidman. Nah. We have a female president right here, and that's Joanna Jędrzejczyk. And the thing is, Poland, the country, is in the midst of a really massive self-delusion as well. So you could just say that it's part of the national character at this point. with the PIS party, PIS, PIS, Law and Justice Party. It's like if Trump could do whatever he wanted. That's what you got there. So
Thanks freedom of the streets.
That's right.
Ah, nice callback. Yes, when the Nazis had freedom of the streets, we know what that looked like.
Yeah. That's Next week, say that in Polish.
Yeah.
Freedom of the streets.
Yeah, right.
Thanks for joining us. Follow us on Twitter, EUGENE'S, Robinson, Alexi, Alder, Kid Nate, Facebook, MMA Pancholes. See the thumbs up, Eugene.
Right there for you.
Leave comments on YouTube. Subscribe to MMANation.com on YouTube, MMA Nation on iTunes. Visit Play Elbow. Buy 7 Secret Source Inspiration. Foxwell's Thin Black Duke and Boonwell's Easy Way Out, or a fine music is sold. And listen to.
Sorry to interrupt here. I'm going to stomp all this for a second. If you live in Dresden, Katowice, Helsinki, Vienna, or London, you know the routine. Anybody who listens to these shows gets on the guest list for free. All you got to do is take the quiz. Don't know how to take the quiz? Fucking DM me through Twitter, and then you figure it out.
Me following the show. Check out if the shoes fit. But for this show, putting the shout out again, the call out. Past episodes, segments, moments. Kid Nate's back. It might have made you reminisce over a time in which either he got stomped on or he stomped on Eugene or something happened. Timestamp it. Stomp it yourself in the comments so we can put it in a reel. We'll be back next week in an installment of If I Did It. We don't know what we're going to be talking about yet because the PR mistakes have yet to be made.